I've been doing electronic education or training for the last 5 years after I spent 36 years in industry, and that is why I'm so interested and excited about the Seebox way of doing things. I've been involved at a couple of places, Waterkloof High School, training their electronic learners, Damlin College, training their people up to a level N6, and previously I was also involved with some homeschoolers where we did electronics for fun. The Seebox certainly take the concepts, the abstract concepts of electronics, and put them into easily digestible concepts and using analogies of everyday stuff for the learner to base his new knowledge on. It basically gives him specifically the videos, the training videos, I think, gives him a very good understanding of the concepts, and also gives him a scaffolding really to base and to anchor his further electronic knowledge on known concepts. And that is what makes me very excited about the Seebox, and it is this new fresh approach of the Seebox. Seebox, as I said, takes known everyday concepts, like explaining, for instance, the flow of electronics, which is a totally abstract concept. It now takes a simple example of the flow of water from a tank to put those concepts into more digestible understanding for the learner. And it is that new approach that makes me very excited that Seebox makes sure that the learner understands the concepts behind electronics, and not only almost like parrot learning. And that is one of the main features, and it's very user-friendly. The user can almost play with the box. The Seebox lends itself very well to self-paced learning, because first of all they break the concepts, the electronic concepts, into easily digestible format which the learner can understand. They make often use of videos in that, and there's also a lot of reading material that they offer. And immediately after that, they actually test whether the learner has grasped that information by let him write a test. So the immediate feedback is the answers get evaluated immediately, and he immediately knows whether he's answered correctly. If he's not sure about the subject, he can easily go back and refresh his knowledge. So at his pace, he can make sure that he understands the concepts and that he can answer the questions correctly. Yes, the other big advantage of the Seebox are these playboards, and that gives the learner the opportunity to experiment with electronics in a very controlled environment, where he can't blow up anything, and that is very necessary, because doing that on his own normally result in failure, because there's such a lot of unknowns and such a lot of factors that he has to take into account, and in the early stages of his career he doesn't understand all those, so he gets frustrated quite easily if he hasn't got the facility of the Seebox to guide him, and that is also one of the big plus points of the Seebox. The experiments that you can run on the playboards using the Seebox are very well planned. So it prevents the guy from doing anything that could perhaps blow up a component, and that gives him the confidence to experiment further well outside his comfort zone. The instructions are clear. He cannot go wrong, and he will achieve good results if he follows the instructions, and that boosts his confidence further and enhances his enjoyment of electronics, which I think is a very important part of the whole education process. The Seebox incorporates many instruments that is useful for the electronic engineer. These instruments is almost like a microscope for the biologist. Without them, you can't fault find a circuit diagram. And it comes at a very reasonable cost. If you look at the Seebox, you get a oscilloscope. You also get a signal generator. You get power supplies. And for the digital guys, there's pattern generators as well as the logic analyzer. And on top of all this, there's software that gives him a very reasonable frequency analyzer and spectrum analyzer. All these instruments make experimenting with electronics a pleasure. I found that the material in the Seebox is very well structured. It leads the learner through a logical progression of the concepts, and that ensures that he covers the full syllabus properly. He is also not allowed to skip certain subjects. He can't progress if he hasn't completed them, and that ensures that he follows the most convenient or proper sequence in learning electronics. What I like also of the Seebox is that it's linked to a central database where the teacher can monitor the progress of the learner, and if necessary he can intervene at any stage if he sees that the learner struggles, and he can arrange additional training. The learning material, the content, is situated on a central database, and that ensures that the learner always uses the latest material. When he opens up his Seebox, he gets to see the latest material that there is. This eliminates a big frustration that I have with textbook errors, in that it only gets updated in years to come. But with the Seebox, the learner can be sure that he always uses the latest and the best training material that is available at that stage.